All right, it is time now for our Rants and the Raves of the week, starting with you, Dante.
Speaking of not giving away content for free, I have a rave for David Carson, who is the St. Louis Post-Dispatch photographer who got into a very public fight on Twitter with CBS recently. If you ever tweet out photos of newsworthy events, you may receive this weird legalistic request from media companies saying, we want to use your photo on all of our media platforms. You don't get paid, but at least they get to use your photo however they like. After photographing a football game interrupted by gunfire, Carson got one of these requests from a CBS rep, and he wrote back, "No, I'm a professional. Your offer is insulting." This dispute went viral, and that's great. News organizations should understand, if anybody does, news organizations should understand that pro photography has value and that photographers shouldn't just give away their rights in a tweet.
So how did it end up?
It ended up him not giving up his photos. And they moved on, I think.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I feel we should admit that there have been times over the years, we can get around it here with Beat the Press because we do media criticism, so a lot of stuff falls under fair use guidelines. But with Greater Boston, there have been times when WGBH has tried to procure images and said, hey,
we put a graphic behind the shoulder of Chet Curtis, and somebody said it was the infamous debate, that's my microphone, Mr. Green.
Oh, yeah. Not that I blame the photographer at all, I'm just saying that and a lot of us are part of the problem.
All right, moving on. Go. Sorry, Dan.
Okay, I have a rant for Purdue University. Recently, Barton Gellman, who is a much honored journalist who usually writes for the Washington Post, gave a speech at Purdue, and as part of his speech, he showed 3 PowerPoint slides that contained information that technically was classified, but this had been on the internet for months and presumably had been seen by millions of people. Purdue took down his talk. They did not give him the video of his talk that they had promised him, and they disappeared any evidence that he'd ever given a talk from their website. The reason for this would appear to be that Purdue has government contracts, and they did not want to get into trouble with the Department of Homeland Security or whoever for promoting this. Purdue has since said, we went too far, but they still say we should have just removed those 3 slides. I mean,
should have removed any.
Why'd they invite the guy in the first place? Who did they think they were getting? Bozo the Clown?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, they've ended up with egg on their face because Gellman has gone public, and he's openly soliciting like an amateur video of his talk that he can put up on his own site.
All right, moving on to Adam.
I want to rave briefly for Robert Costa, who writes for the Washington Post, used to write for National Review, and has done really, really terrific coverage of the sort of internal, what can we call it, the implosion of the House GOP with Kevin McCarthy dropping out of the race to become House Speaker. We have a couple tweets, I think, that Costa tweeted as this occurred. This is fabulous. It's so evocative. Total chaos, no clear frontrunner for gavel. Members stunned, reacting. McCarthy allies trying to draft center-right candidate as right makes move. And then check this next one out. Representative Peter King tells me members are crying in cloakroom, unable to handle the unrest and confusion. A banana republic, he says. I just think that's great sort of insidery detail. His longer pieces are really good, too. One thing I like about Costa's work for the Post is it shows you can take someone from an ideologically oriented publication, bring them into a mainstream environment, and see them do really, really good work that is of interest to people across the spectrum.
One congressman was saying on NPR this morning that was all fabricated, none of that was true. I can't remember which one it was, but he was saying that was totally exaggerated. The media made much ado of nothing.
I will always believe the reporter over the politician, unless shown otherwise.
Boehner was probably crying.
John.
Just because it was Tuesday, or Wednesday, whatever day it was. I want to rant against those who ranted, including, I think, my esteemed colleague, Professor Kennedy over here, against the LA Times
the Scott Brown twist.
For this front page. Take a look at this. There's an ad wrapped around the front page for American Airlines. Oh, the horror. Well, you know what? Newspapers are dying, a horrible death in many cases. And if they can stay afloat and subsidize good journalism by wrapping an ad around the front page, there have been ads on the front page of newspapers for many years. Come on, what's the big deal?
I didn't understand why such a big deal was made out of that when the Globe has done it as well.
Madam Moderator, my name has been invoked. I have defended most ads of this nature. I just think this one goes too far. And if you're driving away readers, you're not helping yourself ultimately.
You're a Starbucks drinker.
All right. Finally tonight, I have a rave, and I know they'll probably disagree with me about the new format of the Saturday Boston Globe, which I found refreshing and fun. Not every single, we can see a picture of it? There we go. Last week was about ticketing, and it's, it wasn't the hardest hitting, but it was well laid out. It was kind of a fun read, and I'm looking forward to seeing tomorrow's paper and seeing what you have new on that, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I thought
completely
it was fun.
different change from the Sunday, and frankly, most other days of the week.
Whatever it takes to survive,
exactly.
that's the key.
I liked it. All right. That's it for our show. Adam Say Nothing. Tell us what you think. Email us, tweet us, or leave a comment. We're always on at beatthepress.org. I'm Emily Rooney. Thanks for watching.